That's right.
You don't have much of a choice, does he?
That's right. All right, Mama. So this time let's start out by you telling me where we're at.
We're in LJ, Georgia, at the cabin
Mm-hmm.
that Robert had found for us all to be together at this time.
Okay.
It's a beautiful cabin. I love it. When I pulled up here on our way in, we got to see several deer, a lot of them.
Right up by the
Yeah,
car. I
yeah,
think it was. I counted 10
yeah. I think I
after
counted
we
11.
turned. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. So
yeah. I've counted 11.
they were right there by the car. That was pretty cool.
Yeah, that was nice. They would just stand and look at you, the babies, which
Yeah.
is like, I'm like,
Yeah.
oh my goodness. One
Um,
almost watched Daddy go in the ditch. He kept standing there.
um, the yesterday we started out. Yesterday we stopped in Tifton, stayed the
Yeah.
night in Tifton,
Yeah,
and then we finished the trip the rest of the way today
today.
to get to LJ.
Yeah. Little foggy, little rain, little fog.
Yep, it's a little chilly
Yeah.
outside. Um, so it's a big cabin. Sleeps 12. I think we're gonna end up having 13, including Romilly, but she's got her own little bed.
Yeah. We hit her out.
Yeah.
Y'all hit her back.
Yeah. Um, so tell me, Mom, why don't you tell me, since we're on vacation, did you do any vacations or trips or anything that stands out in your mind that you did as a kid?
Um, I used to love it when Dad and Mom would take the summer, generally like in the last part of June, the bluegills would be biting on Lake Okeechobee.
Uh huh.
And we would go down there. There was one place that Daddy would stop and eat catfish.
Yeah.
That was the only time we ate out.
Really?
You could eat the whole week we were there. You could eat all the catfish you wanted. My daddy could lay some catfish away. You were sitting there 20 minutes still waiting for him to finish catfish. But they would bring this huge platter
Yeah.
to the table, and and if you wanted more, they'd fill it back up.
Wow.
So I really like that because you could have all the grits. I loved grits when I was a kid.
How much? I know y'all never had much as a kid. How much do you think Granddaddy made in like a week? Do you have an idea how much he made in like a week, roughly?
I know at one point, and I'm thinking at that time, I was probably in fifth or sixth grade. I know he's making about $85 a week,
Wow.
but
Because Grandma didn't work. She just stayed home with y'all
she
kids.
only worked one time, and that was after I had left home and come back. I found out she worked several months at a fruit place right next door to where they were actually living. They needed extra help for a while, but no, Mom never too much work.
Yeah.
But Dad always grew all of our vegetables, so that saved him. Him and my uncle would raise a cow or a hog.
Uh huh.
They change it around every year, so that helped. And um, Dad would go like he knew a lot of people that had fruit and stuff. That's how we got a lot of our fruits and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But Dad would trade a lot of stuff out,
Yeah.
so I guess that helped him.
Yeah, I
And
bet.
then plus he was a drinker, so he had to hold some money back to
Yeah.
get his bottle every.
Yeah. You
But
said
I
he
don't
used
know
to drink.
how he done it.
He used to drink a fifth. You said every.
He drink a fifth of liquor every night before he ate his dinner. Then he'd
Wow.
eat his dinner and go to bed.
Yep.
And come dark, if all the lights went out, you go to bed.
Did he? Did he? Like that fifth of liquor? Did it make him drunk, or he just?
I only see my dad close to being drunk one time. That's because my cousin had brought some green beer from Germany.
Mm-hmm.
He was in the Navy, and every time he'd come home, he'd bring a different kind of beer. Well, Daddy was drinking his Rockin' Cheer and Four Roses, the hard
Yeah.
liquor, and he decided he's going to drink 2 or 3 bottles of this green beer.
And he was feeling pretty good.
He was pretty sick.
Oh yeah.
I'm telling you, he was sick.
Really?
He said, never again.
I know we're going way off subject. I want to get back. Remind me. I want to come back to the fishing story. But
Yeah.
I just thought of a story that I remember you telling as a kid about Granddaddy, and I can't remember who else it was, but shooting rats
Oh,
in the house.
my dad had the original house over in Caveville.
Yeah.
It needed another bedroom, so I'd have a bedroom by myself because I was the only girl, and I
Uh-huh.
was at that particular time. James and I shared a bedroom, which he was just 2 years younger than I was.
Yeah.
So they wanted to get me a bedroom, and they wanted a big dining room because we just had a small little dining room out in
Yeah.
the kitchen, and then an extra bath.
Yeah.
So they had closed it in, and you could see the rafters. There was no sheetrock or any wood or anything,
Yeah.
right? But they already had the old big wooden table in the middle of that room. And they were sitting there drinking, my daddy and his brother, Uncle Alec, and all of his kids were sitting playing jacks,
Uh-huh.
kind of away from the table a little bit. And of course, my dad had guns sitting everywhere. He was a
Yeah.
hunter. And he picks up, my uncle says, "Look at that big rat up there." And of course, we're all looking. We couldn't see him because of the
Yeah.
rafters. He was sitting on top of the rafter.
Yeah.
And so we went back to playing jacks. And I swear that's the reason I'm scared to death of rats today. My dad picks up his 22, bang!
Shot
Pooh! Guess where the rat falls?
right in the middle of all y'all.
I just running and screaming.
I remember you telling that as a kid.
Yeah.
That's a good story.
And that's like, I'm like, why did he shoot the rat? I'm like, why didn't you just trap the rat?
Golly.
So that was that.
I'm going to tell you right now, he might not look drunk, but he was probably drunk that night.
That's a good point.
Yeah.
When they do crazy stuff like that, Ron, honest to God, they see something, they just like shoot it.
Yep. All right, so back to fishing trips. Is there any, I know you said y'all would go down, as vacation down to Okeechobee, but is there any, fishing trips that, stand out in your head that you remember?
Yeah. Actually, it was right out of the city of Lakeland, Lake Bonny. I'm sure you know where Lake Bonny
Mhm.
is. And bluegills were biting there.
Yeah.
So Dad took us all of us kids and Mom, and they would wade out to their waist. Of course, I'd wade out to here.
Yeah.
And of course, Dad was run out of crickets. Mom was run out of crickets. Well, there's this big lady in the water, and she's drunker than a skunk.
Yeah.
And I heard Dad talking to Mom that he was running out of crickets because they had caught their limit, and Dad went and took the limit to the house and come back. Mama always caught her limit again, right?
Yeah.
So I heard Dad saying, "I'm about to run out of crickets again. Have you caught your limit yet or whatever?" Mom said, "Yeah, I told you. I'd only need about 6 more and I'll have my limit caught." And so I told Daddy, I said, "That lady's losing her crickets." And he said, "What?" I said, "That lady over there's losing her crickets. She's about drunk. She's got she's got beer hanging around her neck, tied around her neck." And she was drinking her out of her bottle, right?
Yeah.
And I don't know how the crickets were getting out. Daddy told me, "You sneak over there, you start catching them crickets, and you hold them in your hand and bring them over here and put them in our boat." So I was stealing crickets for them to catch them. And Mama said, "You little fool, you gonna get caught." Daddy says, "They're free crickets." He said, "They're on the water."
Yeah, she doesn't let them go.
Huh?
She doesn't let them go.
Yeah, she didn't know that they were getting out. I don't know whether her little basket got bit or something. They were getting out, but she had this string of rope or something around her neck, and she had beer bottles tied.
Yeah.
And she had her little beer opener to drink it, but she's about drunk. And so this gentleman's watching me, and he's just